Meantime, many Americans say there's sort of a toxic pop culture that's having a dangerous effect on kids. And joining me now is psychologist Jim Taylor. In fact, he's written a book. It's entitled Your Children Are, here it is, Under Attack: How Popular Culture is Destroying Your Kids' Values and How You Can Protect Them. Thanks for being with us, Jim. It's propitious that you're here because what a week it's been. I mean, it seems like we have this epidemic of pedophiles abducting kids, sexual predators on the internet preying on children, kids gunning down other kids at school. Minnesota a few days ago. I mean, those are the stories that we have done ad nauseum this week alone. What in the world is going on, and how much of that is pop culture to blame?
Well, clearly pop culture is not 100% responsible for these issues that have come up, but they're certainly a major contributor because popular culture has, in my view, become the dominant and most destructive force in our society today because it's attacking kids at the most basic level, the values that guide their lives.
You know, one of the great columnists in America is Stanley Crouch, who is one of the few black voices in America condemning certain rap artists for hateful lyrics and demeaning videos, gangster rap in particular. But, you know, I mean, Jim, music isn't the only problem. Doesn't cultural pollution also encompass everything like violent videotape games, television, movies? Give us some examples and begin, if you would, with, I think we're going to put up on the screen some of these games, internet games or video games.
Well, video games are certainly a great example, and it goes back to the 18-year-old boy in Alabama last month who killed 2 police officers after being obsessed with Grand Theft Auto, an extremely graphically violent and sexual video game. Now, again, I want to emphasize that these games didn't cause these kids to act violently, but certainly in a culture where that violence is very popular and well accepted, and a culture where it's all about just making money, and the fact is violence sells, then these troubled kids are susceptible.
Who's to blame? Parents, marketers, execs driven by corporate greed, all of the above?
All of the above. But I can't really hold big business responsible because bottom line, their reason for being is to make money. Would I like them to have a sense of social responsibility? Absolutely. Do I expect it? Yeah. No. Our government, well, to be honest with you, Greg, our government long ago sold out to special interests and money, and it just gives lip service to protecting kids on both sides of the aisle.
All right.
Ultimately, the only people who can protect kids are schools, houses of worship, and ultimately it's the responsibility of the parents.
Ah, good. Let's talk about parents, because in your book, one of the things, and I paid particular attention to this chapter, you talked about how parents really need to be proactive and not reactive. In fact, let me quote you, page 240 here. Take the ammunition out of the armaments of pop culture, TV, video games, the internet, movies, and use them as tools to foster your children's development. All right, how do you do that?
Well, first of all, parents need to know their values. They need to really look at the values that they're living and make sure that they're healthy and that they're communicating them clearly. Because if they're not, the kids are going to go look for values other places like popular culture. Also, parents need to study popular culture. They need to play the video games. They need to watch the TV shows, listen to the music, and really understand the truly destructive value messages that kids are getting.
Yeah,
and then parents...
Go ahead.
And then parents need to take action. There's a culture of lazy parenting in our society where parents are becoming enablers of popular culture, and they're taking the path of least resistance.
Yeah, in other words, you know, get out of my hair in the kitchen while I'm cooking dinner, go downstairs and watch a little TV, and then they turn on, you know, Extreme Makeover and the Osbournes and stuff like that. One of the recommendations in your book is to, and this really resonates with me as a parent, pick your battles. Explain that.
Well, I think that parents can set very high thresholds of what's acceptable for kids. And as kids reach adolescence, a part of that process is to rebel, to become independent. And if parents set the bar too high, kids are going to go after what I call big victories. And big victories for me are sex, drugs, and alcohol. But if they set the bar a little lower and say, well, you know what, we don't really like the music that they're listening to, but it's probably not going to scar them that much. Or some of these TV shows maybe aren't so bad. Give kids little victories so they feel like they're being independent and have control of their lives. That way they won't have to reach after the big victories, which are really trouble.
Well, I've been setting the bar too high, and so by reading some of this, you've made me rethink that. It's a great book. Your Children Are Under Attack. Jim Taylor, Ph.D., psychologist. Thanks so much.
I appreciate being here.